Nice. Shout out to the cadet. Nice.
Yeah, it was definitely good. I like how he emphasized how many times Richard just says software is hard. As I see I changed his description under his name.
He's hard, man.
Dude, best like I'll be real, I love the first one. I've watched it like 20 times. But this one was the funniest one. Like I feel like the first one was like, oh yeah, like fuck them haters, but like this one was the funniest, hands down.
Yeah, there has been so much material since too, man. Like Celsius, Luna, all those things that crash. Damn. So much happening. I was working today. I slept pretty much 3 hours. Had to attend a dance show for teenage girls. Was pretty rough on my bones. I feel so old. Hate working on a Sunday.
You know what? We should go back to the like days of like you don't work on Sundays. Like not just for just religion or anything, but just like like bringing people together, just making sure everybody has a day off. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how it is, in the entertainment industry, you're like basically working when the other people are, enjoying their free time. So, I work on the evenings, I work at night, I work on, holidays. Um, yeah. Not necessarily all the time, but a big portion of my gigs is around those days.
My customers used to call me and they'll be like, "Do you work on Sundays?" I was like, "I'll work on Christmas Eve or Day or New Year's Eve. I don't care. I'll come out."
Yeah, pay me double.
I made good hourly on it, and like my guys all don't care about Sundays, so.
Yeah, well, when you have a family and stuff, it's a little bit harder.
Yep, don't have one of those. I got a dog. He's like 80. He's like $80 a month for food.
$80 is the sounds like a lot, isn't it?
Koga gets the good stuff.
He's a gourmet.
Yeah, he's a filet mignon puppy.
Oh, gourmet filet mignon dog.
Yeah.
Nice. How nice of you. That's a good dog life.
So how is Paris, Patrice? Is there still riots going on over there? What's going
on? Well, I don't know so much about riots. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't been watching the news too much because it's really breaking my balls. But yeah, there has been a couple of protests. They're trying to how you say it, to make the retirement year later.
What is it now? What is it currently?
So currently it's 62 years old. They want to put it at 65, but it's complicated. It's like it says 62, but it's like if you have such and such criteria, it's like really complicated,
Yeah,
legal stuff.
ours is
Um,
kind of like the same thing. I think you can first claim Social Security. I think at 62 or 63, and then for max benefits for the maximum payout, it's at 67 currently right now for like the maximum payout.
mhm. Yeah, I believe in Germany it's 67. Yeah, well, it's a kind of special subject. It really depends a lot on what type of work you work in. Like I know a lot of people, they they work until 70, but
Yeah,
it's because they want to. It's because they can and they want to, and they rather work a little bit more and stay active. And some people are like wrecked at 60, doing like manual
yeah,
labor or
for that
really
too, even in
really
the 50s.
heavy, like heavy lifting. Like I don't do like super hardcore stuff, but sometimes I have to, like lift a lot of heavy stuff and be really fast. I don't do it all the time, thank God, but like my knees and my back, sometimes I feel like wrecked. And I can't imagine what it's like for somebody who's like doing this every day in and out
Yeah,
early in
you
the
get used to it.
morning.
You get used to a lot of the stuff though. Like if you're doing labor work, over time your body gets used to it. So it's like for someone who's not used to it, it must seem like hell. But for someone who does it all the time, it's just like working out. It's literally just like working out. It's like you get used to it, the movements and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I mean, like you're still getting wrecked in the long term, like little by little.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, especially if you're not like taking care of yourself, like if you're not eating
Yeah,
remote.
yeah, yeah. And like some professions, they don't wear any safety gear. Um, like yeah, like Mike said one time, sometimes they say like, yeah, like the moving professionals, they have all this gear now that makes the work easier.
Perhaps
And
lifting.
that's not what I see. Like I see still a lot of people doing it the good old way with hardly any safety equipment. And like if you do a false movement, you get fucking wrecked.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
that's why I'm stopping. But like, dude, it's just like I think it's just like kind of negligence. Like, dude, like they're $40 at Lowe's, and it like works for like almost everything. Like, I've had people who can't lift a dresser with their arm strength, but they can carry it with their legs. Like, it's just like negligence.
Mm.
They're like 40, $50 at like fucking Lowe's or Home Depot.
Yep. Someone's got to do it. Robots aren't here yet. And we
Yeah,
got
dude,
rid
the
of
first
slavery.
couple months is rough, but it gets easy depending on the job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's always like the situation where you have to like, whatever, you know, pull this dresser in this corner and then down the stairs or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you can just make one false move and your fucking back is wrecked, or you like fall. Obviously, you need to
It's not
be
for
careful and
everybody.
stuff, but yeah, it's definitely not for everybody. Like, don't improvise that shit.
I feel fortunate. I think the worst thing that I had happen that I can remember is my buddy was carrying a dresser, and he slammed his head on the ceiling because it was a low rise, and it just like it hit him right in the right point of his head, and it just bled really bad. But like, yeah, he was fine. Just a small cut on his head.
Yeah, we sometimes, when we do concerts and stuff, we like, we unload trucks like really fast. With like, sometimes 2 or 3 people, sometimes it's like, 10, 15 people. And yeah, like if you don't wear the proper safety equipment, like I have been, pretty much wrecking my like my foot, just by just some stuff rolling on it. And yeah, I broke my the big like the thumb on the foot. I don't know how you
Big
call
toe.
it. Big toe, yeah. Like maybe
That's an important toe.
yeah, maybe like 400 pounds rolled on it. Yeah,
Oh shit.
that's
I guess
and when
you
it's
weren't wearing a boot, huh?
yeah, at that time I wasn't wearing the safety boot.
Oh, it still
Because I
broke?
was just I was just helping out, like real like just giving a little push. I was a stage manager at that point, so I wasn't supposed to be the one unloading the truck, but sometimes you gotta get dirty and help
Yeah.
out a little bit. And yeah, and you can't really do much about it. It's like, you know, just needs rest. Sometimes it comes back and hurts, haunts me.
Let me tell you, like when I was doing it, like, dude, my like old boss, like, dude, he was just like, so like, dude, like these companies, they like make their like workers like pick up the dressers, none of the like safety harness straps that just make it so easy. But they also no straps, but they fill up the dressers, and they'll tell their customers to stuff dressers so that it's even heavier. Like we didn't move. Like I'd literally like people would try and be like, "Oh no, I didn't want to pack these," and I was like, "Okay, well we're not carrying the dresser like that." Like that's how you really fuck yourself up. Those things. My one buddy, he almost fucking hurt himself, and I wanted to take everything out. He's like, "No, no, 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 let's go do it. Like we got it," and he almost fucking killed himself.
Wait, what did he try taking out? I missed that part. What do you do? What
It
do you
was
try taking?
we were taking a dresser together, and I wanted to take all the contents out because I think it had like books in it or something, man. And I was like, no, dude, we got to take this out. Like one of us is gonna hurt ourselves. It was going up to the 3rd floor, and I like he was like, no, 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 we'll take it up with all this stuff. And dude, he almost fucking hurt himself. We almost broke the dresser. It was fine. Nothing was broken. No one was hurt, but like it was inches away from being bad. Like, and these other companies, they tell their customers, yeah, stuff the fucking dressers. Like, what?
Yeah, you take everything out. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
And like there's like other reasons why you don't just like take out the drawers. You can scratch it, and like I have like the system, and it's worked really well for me over the years. And it's just like it's so much better. And then like yeah, the customer has to do some work, or they have to pay for some packing services. Like and it's like, do you really want like your movers like going through all your stuff? Like, pack your boxes. I'm actually like proud to say like no one's like hurt themselves in the left. Like everybody's like no one's like called me back and said my back is hurting. Like or anything like that. It's just like, just because I did the bare minimum where it's like I was with them and I was like, yeah, I ain't moving dressers with fucking books. Like, get out of here. $0.62 Icosa, boys. 62.
Had a nice recovery. I
Okay.
saw there's some serious dumpage going on. Was it last night or earlier? I don't even remember. This morning or something. Last night there was like $20,000,
The Icosa
$30,000 sales.
or like hex dumpage.
No, last night Icosa. People were dumping Icosa last night.
Because I saw there was a lot of hex dumpage too. Well, there was some hex bot as well, but I have seen some, pretty big amounts, like millions sold. Yeah, I mean, at least it's not like a dead coin. At least there's some transaction going on. Actually, Icosa is up on all chains. Nice.
Oh my god, are you still on that other chain?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You know what? When I'm bored, I'm like competing with this dude on ETH. He's like buying, I'm selling, and then he's selling, I'm buying. So funny. And
It's mango. It's mango.
I'm providing liquidity, so I at least get the fees. Buy into my liquidity.
It's gonna be funny when ETH takes over the world and all those people being like, "We need proof of work." They were right. Oh my god.
It might happen. That's why I'm not doing anything. I'm just leaving everything staked over there. I'm just restaking everything once they come up.
Hey guys, I heard there was a manual labor chat going on. Am I in the right place?
Join in.
Yeah.
Feel free to share your pains and struggles.
I'm hoping to trade my manual labor life for a Icosa yielding life.
Nice.
Me
Maybe
too, brother.
an exoskeleton.
Reincarnate into a yield monster.
Yeah, I guess we all wish that. Juicy yields, retirement yields.
I'm telling you, staking's a full-time job, man. Now you have different chains. Oh, dude, you got a lot of transactions to do, brother.
Yeah. I don't do the 90-day stake though. When Pulse launches, it might be a full-time job. We'll see.
Oh, and like, dude, think about this, Patrice. Have you been doing any auctions like the past month?
No. I'm really poor in Hedron. I've got like a little bit more than $1 billion, but I'm not like a hex OG, so I don't have a lot of T shares. And no, I've got like a couple of shares with like a 9x multiplier, but that doesn't give me very far. It's like, yeah, my hex stakes print more Hedron. My Icosa stakes print way more Hedron than that. Even though dollar wise it was much more. But yeah, I've only been here for about a year now. Hello to all you lovely gentlemen tuning in, lurking in the background.
I like kind of dread Pulse Chain coming out now. Like it's just like it's been so long. It's just like to be able to do stuff on with 1% transactions, and now we have another chain to fucking do all our stakes and do bidding and stuff. It's just like my mind is melting. I'm like, oh, dude, it's going to be so many transactions, but it'll be so fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit like, dreading to come home after a war. You know it's gonna be good, but at the same time it's gonna be different. Change is scary sometimes.
By the way, if you guys haven't seen it, the new Hex Rewind is out. You guys have to see it. It is so fucking funny.
Yeah, it was actually for how 2022 went. It was the rewind was definitely different than I thought it was going to be, but it's definitely so very appropriate for how 2022 went. It was so very appropriate. So it was really really good.
Yeah, if the bandwidth wasn't so bad here on Telegram, I would play it sharing my screen, but I feel like every time I see a video feed in Telegram, it's really fucking garbage. I don't know how is that? I probably have really shitty servers or something. Yeah, it's on Telegram that I always see the worst video feeds ever. It's like you see like one frames every 3 seconds sometimes. Garbage.
You know, if you bought along the dip here, for Icosa and you staked it, man, your yield percentage, man, I think you made like 25% interest in like 30, 40 days.
Yeah, a little bit less than that. My my most recent stake, yeah, has like 30 days on it, and I'm up a little bit less than 16%. Well, still, pretty good. But yeah, it's a little bit still a little bit less than what we had around the auction days, of course. But yeah, like the two first month after auctions were really nice on average, without counting the first week, which was like bananas. Bananas. Well, I mean, 14, 15% in 30 days. Yeah, so can't complain about that.
How are your smaller wallets looking, Mike? Are you still satisfied with the move so far?
Yes, because the price of Icosa kind of went up proportional with or went up, I think, higher with yield than gas fees went up. So yes, 90-day stakes.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming it'll be something like $8 to end stake. I haven't checked. But a lot of it will depend when I want to compound. But as long as we see it if we saw just 60 cents and just held here, and gas fees kind of still go up, I still think that because you're not paying a penalty in 90 days, the penalty will be the savings of the penalty because you're staking shorter will cover the gas fees for the additional stake points and future yield. And this is obviously for if you're playing for a while, you don't a lot of these I don't plan on really touching.
Yeah, I'm considering maybe not end staking just my Genesis wallet. Still on the fence with that one.
I think it's a long shot, but who knows,
Yeah, I have so many other wallets now that I'm like, it's okay if I don't compound this one. It's not the biggest. That's not the biggest stake as well. So I'm like, yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not the end of the world if I don't compound that one. It's got a nice chunk of yield on there sitting. It's gonna come out in a few weeks. I added a little bit to it. So it's probably like 200 days. Like 180 plus about 20 days. Because back in the day, we were counting on that bonus. We didn't have the same strat, same outlook on Icosa things, Icosa plays. It was nice though having Gifford in yesterday. Trying to trying to convince us otherwise. Uh, it's always healthy to put in perspective your strategy and debate. What's up, System State?
What's going on, boys? Coming to you live from my kitchen.
Oh, nice. What's cooking?
Oh, nothing. Just in the kitchen. No, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're all right. I've been working today, so I'm a little bit fucked up, but nonetheless happy to be here.
Oh, did you get hurt or?
Nah. It's just I haven't been sleeping a lot lately. Trooping in the Icosa chats and whatever YouTube channels.
Yeah.
So I haven't been sleeping much, and like I made a show for like a dance school, so it's like a lot of children all the day, a lot of noise, and it's a little bit hectic. People running around left and right, and I have to do all the technical stuff. Like I have to supervise of all the sound and light, and all the technical details. And at the same time, I have to keep in check all those youngsters bouncing around like young animals. Because for them, it's like it's like once a year or like twice a year. For them, it's like the big day. So they're like super excited. They don't really pay attention to security and whatever stuff is laying around, and I have to keep all the access cleared also for security reasons. So yeah, those days are pretty rough. But it's cool though. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's bringing joy to the young people and to the parents. So that makes it up. I like my I like my field of work.
So I'm looking here, and in about 30 days, I've earned 10. I think it's like, well, yeah. So that would be like a 14% Icosa yield, and then it's just like a million, less than a million for like a 90-day stake. So 30 days, about 14% yield in 30 days. Plus the price like went up almost like 80%.
Yeah, that's about what I see on my data too. Next month is gonna be awesome. I hope day one is gonna be a shit show again with like 25+% or something. That would be nice. Had about 33, 34% on the first day of auctions last time. Yeah, from what I saw yesterday, that there's a lot of Hedron sitting on the sidelines ready, and quite a couple of stakes also ending, probably around 80% of the entire supply. It's a lot of Hedron.
Like maybe these guys come out from the Hedron stakes and dump all their Icosa, like maybe, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like a smart idea, but maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah. To us, it doesn't seem like a smart idea, but like who is really paying attention? There's only there's only like 20, 30, 50 people here at the same time. So in the entirety of all the wallets, yeah, I've calculated yesterday that there's like 12,000 Icosa wallets and about 12,000 Hedron stakes as well. Considering that there are quite a few people like me or like you, Mike, that have, at least 5 to 10 wallets. That's yeah, it's not so many. I was surprised that there's so little Icosa stakes. The Hedron stakes, I mean. Icosa is really new and kind of have to do something to actually have Icosa, but you don't really have to do anything to get the Hedron. Imagine all that Hedron that has not been minted and that will never be minted. Kind of like that part. Kind of makes up for all those 10x multipliers. In my opinion, the 10x multipliers was a little bit like too much for adoption.
I don't mind it, but like, you still like you still earn like so much more Hedron in the Icosa pool. Like hex stakes kind of like, if you're just staking hex to earn Hedron, yeah, 10x's are a little bit, OP. But like now that we have Icosa, like you pretty much, it's a little bit more dynamic, but like right now, dude, you're like earning so much more, so it's okay.
Yeah, but like, if you're like an OG and have like, whatever, thousands of T shares with 10x multipliers on there.
All right, fair enough.
Like, wow, it's like, what the fuck? When I look into that, that Icosidon addresses, dude dumped like, more than $1 million in Hedron, probably, in total. Over 3-4 months. But I'm glad that he switched up his game plan, supporting the system now. Yeah, I will try to add all the USDC that he switched that he swapped from Hedron when I got some time and motivation.
I was re-listening to the Death Thought from last night, and there's just one thing that still like I just can't figure out. Who the fuck is Gifford? Can somebody tell me?
Yeah, what was that whole conversation about in the other group? I saw you kept commenting about it. I'm like, you've talked to him many times before, haven't you?
It's just like one time somebody's like, "Well, Gifford said this," and I was like, "Well, who the fuck is Gifford?" And he was in the chat, and I didn't know. Just running a side gag.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were joking or not.
I still don't know who this guy is. Like he pops in once in a while. He's got some good info. I'm not saying he's dumb, but like, who the fuck is this guy?
He was around a lot. Gifford was around a lot. Gifford was around a lot when Hedron launched. So he did a lot of stuff. No, he didn't do a lot of stuff with Hedron, but he was like a voice talk. He was in the group in the voice chat about like Hedron, and He's all into numbers and stuff like that. He's like a Hamish type guy, except Hamish is way better with numbers, in my opinion. Plus, I love his voice.
Yeah, he has been streaming a lot with RH Max and Sloth, I believe, as well.
Yeah, and Chris B as well too. I think him and
Yeah,
Chris streamed with each other.
yeah. A lot of the streamers who cover Icosa a lot more than some other
Yeah,
hex streamers.
yeah, it's true though. Yeah, he is. I guess he isn't around a lot, or he's actually never been around a lot. He would always just make appearances here and there, and then he would talk numbers. He would talk hardcore numbers for a little bit, and then he would just be gone again for another couple weeks, a month, and come back periodically.
Yeah, even though he's more on like his waterfall strategy and a bit more inclined to let the stakes roll. He did say that he also finds that the 180 day stakes are really efficient overall.
You know what I would do if I had a full head of hair? I'd make a giant mohawk and make it like green, like a foot tall.
I'd have long ass dreadlocks. I was actually growing my hair out for dreadlocks when I was like 17, 18. And then I started slowly. I started the front half of my head started thinning. So as soon as I started seeing my hair started thinning, I just started shaving my head. I was so disappointed.
You're not allowed to have dreadlocks. That's appropriation, dude.
How do you
You're
okay,
you're a guinea.
okay, how do you know? How do you know what I look like? But yeah, go ahead.
So wait,
Be the white
no,
boy.
you should be the picture of your cropped head on our. Right. And look, there's you holding a mango.
Yeah. Yeah, my dreads were gonna be nice, professionally done. They weren't gonna. I was gonna look like some dirty white hippie.
Fucking hippies, dude. Every time I scroll on Twitter, I find stuff that I like, and it makes me like be like, "Oh, dude, like, everything's pretty awesome." And then I see like libs of TikTok posting like what's happening in some of these like Democrat cities, and I'm like, "Oh no, losing faith." I have very mixed emotions about about the goods and the bads of the world.
Anybody else get that odd feeling that February is just going to be a fucking crazy month? I don't know why. We got the auctions. I don't know. I just feel like something big's coming in February.
Well, that's a different kind of sentiment from you, Salty. I was expecting you to say the worst.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
my general bearish sentiment is not here anymore. It's like even if we do, even if it's still going to be going sideways for a long time, we'll just say a long time. We'll just say Pulse Chain still doesn't launch for another year. I still think the general markets are still going to be on a very, very, very slow uptrend from here. So I think we are. I think we did hit the bottom. If not, like it'll still spike down and stuff like that. It's no big deal. But I don't feel bearish at all anymore. I think it's just going to be the slow grind sideways and upwards now.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen the 2022 Hex Cadet review, I guess, whatever it's called today. Man, that was really nice to see that. I was super bullish after watching that. Did anybody else see that today, or?
Yeah, I was just starting watching it when Mike tuned in, so I'm like 2 minutes in. I'll watch it after the yield party.
I didn't even didn't even recognize your avatar change, Mike. You got if you change, like, this is a rule of mine. If I change my avatar on one platform, I have to change it to the same avatar on every single platform. That's just my own personal rule. I just noticed that you changed your name on Twitter.
Oh yeah, like yeah, you're right.
Oh no, I'm not saying I'm right. Yeah, I'm just giving my opinion.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I changed it on the I just haven't changed it yet on Telegram. I did update my little subtitle though. So like yeah. Thank you. It's just like I love this symbol. It's just so funny. It's just like hacks in the green, just like sucking up all the economic energy, the black hole. Like, yeah.
Sucking up that good yield. Gimme.
Dude, it just hits everything. Like when it comes to like most investable, it's liquid. You get paid yield over time. It's in a good mindset of investors, because like if you're willing to have a 15-year hex stake, you're not like some degen, or you could be a degen, but you have a longer time horizon buying things that other people buy and hold for long periods of time. It's secure, more secure than Bitcoin, more secure than pretty much most things that have been invented. It hits everything. It just hits that perfect. Yeah. Like, even now with hex stakes being HSIs, they're liquid and they pay you, your daily yield in hex, but also Hedron, which is immediately liquid just for holding it for a day. You can take loans out on it. Not like the loans rates right now aren't that great, but a year or two from now, oh boy, the games you can play then.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see in the next 6 months if more and more people take some loans out. Would be nice.
I just finished the Hex 2022 rewind. I suggest everyone watch it. I sent it to all my own boards and everything. Kind of covers the last year quite well, I think.
Covers what well?
Last year, all the goings on, the ups and the downs of it, and especially Richard warning people numerous times about FTX and about Celsius and losing all their money. And of course, we know he was proven true. But anyway, I shared that out with all my people.
I think 2023 is going to be better. I think that with, Kami Coin fucking going around fucking clogging the chain and ETH for whatever reason not having like inflation coming out, like we'll probably see higher prices, however long it lasts. I don't know. Can they like launch it early? The new update for Ethereum?
I don't know. It's scheduled for mid-March, something.
Oh, is it mid-March?
The Shanghai update.
Is that where like now you can get your stuff out?
Yeah, it's not for sure
I
though.
believe so.
There's no definite date though.
Oh, so is it a rumor or they say they plan on it?
They're saying March, but there is no date. Like they don't give a date for when it is. It's nothing set in stone. It's
2 more weeks.
Yeah, there's a great part of that 2022 where they've just broken down like every single time. Richard's basically said 2 weeks, 2 months,
so funny.
3. It's so good. Yeah, he did a great job of that.
It was so yeah. That's like the whole thing was just fuck. It was so funny, man. Especially that part. Yeah, it's like a couple months, few months, 6 months, 2 months, 4 weeks, 2 weeks, mid-May. It just kept going and going. We're close. We're close. Soon. We're close. Soon. Yeah, it was definitely good. Added some humor, obviously, because 2022 has been shit. So it's just been like, it was good. It was very, very funny.
I remember at one point I was just chatting with my one buddy, and we were just there, and we were just like, "Do you think that like Pulse isn't launching for like a long time?" And like, it seems like it could take a while. We started like talking about it, and it was just like we look back, we're like, "Oh yeah, he even had us going a little bit." Like I didn't think I didn't think it was going to launch guaranteed in 3 months. I was like, "Oh, it could maybe in 3 to 6 months." Like, I'm not betting like a lot on it, so like we'll just see what happens. And yeah, looking back. Software is hard.
What I noticed that the people that were around when Hex was at bull market and post-chain sacrifice and all that, that was bigger community. And since the time been going on, the people that have less patience, you could see them taking off, and where they're all running to the spam token, all hoping that that's gonna save them and saying, "Oh, Richard don't know nothing. This guy gonna come and save us now. He got experience on background of developing." I'm looking like these guys don't know shit what's going on. There's a reason why everything's all set up for a reason. We're not chasing new shiny objects, which we're seeing everyone's starting to do right now, are leaving, chasing shiny objects. We already seen this coming. We knew it. It was just a matter of time and who was gonna fall for all this stuff. And it's unfolding. But who's around right now believing Potion that's gonna launch, which I believe strongly, and I'm no freaking rushing for it to come out. Take your time, and when it comes out, it's fucking here. And yeah, but it's exciting to see who's here still and who's already been leaving.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, the first the first hint of all that was definitely in the Pulse chat, seeing everyone dropping like flies in the Pulse chain chat, which is understandable because it was just kind of unknown. But then you never really saw much of other people in like the Hedron chat or even having like the Hex chat open. Well, that the Hex chat's been long dead on Telegram. But yeah, you see it all throughout Twitter, yada yada. It happens.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited with the Icosa, whoever did set this up right here, because it's kind of reminded me of back then when Hex started and everything else of the Telegram group, I guess, and YouTube live streaming. So this is exciting. I mean, you do get people coming in here, jumping in that do got very good experience, background, knowledge with Alex and all that. But this is pretty exciting to be in this Telegram group in the chat, listen, hearing all the people that knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. And you can just come in. Yeah, come in more often whenever you want. Just come in and talk shit. Like, you don't like this isn't just like, yeah, obviously it's Icosa, but you other conversations do come up. You can only talk so much about one thing for, for a certain amount of time, and then other topics just tend to come up. Not other crypto projects, just other things, just bullshit about whatever, you know?
Yeah, it kind of came like naturally that we sit around around that time when the yield takes over. That's usually when I'm checking, my wallets anyway. So it was it was pretty natural that kind of hang out in this chat around that time. Let's see, has the yield ticked over?
I want to change the subject, but man, Junkie, I just want to say, man, I was cracking up when you came on X-Ray Vision on his when you're talking about he's gonna make a new coin. And you're like, what, motherfucker? Like, what? Hold on, hang on the fuck up. Oh man, I was cracking the fuck up, man. I loved it. I loved it because we got to do that sometimes.
I was a little saucy too. I had a few cocktails that evening too, so I was a little saucy. So I got a little lippy, But he's cool though. I like X-Ray a lot though. He's like super super nice. And yeah, I haven't been talking any shit about him or to him at all. I followed him. I'm starting to retweet all his stuff again. He's too nice of a guy, and he's honest about what he's doing. Even if like people are getting shit now for promoting stuff on Twitter, and even fucking what's his name, Texan. I was giving Brandon shit on stream. He jumped in on Thothchild's stream one time when I was on there, and we had some words back and forth with each other, But Yeah, but I'm done. I'm done like busting people's balls or yeah, I'm done busting people's balls about if they're creating a project or something like that. Because even with the whole thing that just happened, like with me and a couple other people in this group, it's like I can't. I felt like a hypocrite if I start saying bad things about people who are trying to get involved with something else because I found something I wanted to get involved with, and obviously it went burning to the ground before anything even took off. Before anything even took off the ground floor, it basically burned to the ground. So yeah, so I'm done giving people shit about creating projects and stuff because yeah, I just feel like a hypocrite. But yeah, that was hilarious though. I remember that stream though. It was a good time though.
Yeah, but it seemed like you were, but it was all love. You could tell you wasn't really talking shit
Exactly.
to him. It was just let him know, hey, come on, we got the best shit already here. Why are you trying to do something else? We know damn right that shit not gonna make it compared to what's real. And that's all it is. It was all love. It wasn't nothing. I didn't took it as if you were trying to disrespect him like that. We're just trying to wake him up. Like, come on, come back over here, reality. Come back to the light. Don't get drifted away. Even though we know it could happen. It's happened to a lot of us, which me too at
Yeah.
times. So,
You guys, yield just ticked over.
Nice.
Nice. On my way, boss.
I was listening to the replay. I'm not sure the replay show live stream this morning. I'm not sure it was from last night, but it was showing live stream with Good for. I know Mike was on there and others was speaking good alpha knowledge out there. Talking about the staking your Icosa and win, and then you'll be getting kind of take your yield that you made. You got to pretty much restake that, or try to hold your position for your points, and then also too where you might benefit also get more points by restaking it. And right now I just want to say when I did my first Icosa on the first day, checking my stake with her hex, I was 270 day locked in, and that wasn't much. It was like I'll tell you like 600 or something Icosa when I did that. But that first day was a lot, I guess. But now I got 190 days. I think I must have put some more in because right now it's 191 day I got right now left for my stake to finish. Since it's only 600 and something Icosa, I could add right now another whatever 1,000. I forgot. I think up to 2,000 and something. Where before I go to the 270 days, I could add right now to my freaking stake that was 270 days, which is right now 600 something Icosa, and then it will redo itself to 180 days. So I told myself if I put some Icosa in right now, I could pretty much shorten my stake to 10 days faster, just because of my stake is from the points from the first day, which it was now that 600 ain't shit now versus it was at that day. So I was kind of laughing at that, interesting where right now I could add some and it'll drop my stake down faster versus 191 days. It'll be 180 days that next day happening. So that was kind of interesting. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I did that on my day one stake too. It got me down a class. What was funny is at the beginning, it bumped me down a class, but it still showed the 15% bonus, which was a little bit surprising to me. But yeah, I'm not sure what was up with that. Anyway, we don't have any more bonuses. Well, we all have the bonus now, just even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted. I was mentioning about my stake. I remember hearing Mike was talking about that. He was half his point. His position went down like half, and I was thinking, well, yeah, because of my position, I went down a lot too. So as we getting depleted from if you're not adding in or keep on your position, which will be getting taken away, just like the hex stakes, right? If you don't keep on adding up, adding restaking and adding more, getting more hex to make more T-shirts, you can end up getting left out, which is pretty. The game is played.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, acquire that Icosa before, the pool gets more and more competitive. A lot of people got the Hedron already, so it's definitely not, don't compete the same in those two pools. I would say that the Hedron pool is a little bit more stable, yield-wise, but the
I mean,
Icosa pool is
stable as
just
like in way less than yes.
No, it's like more stable in the sense that it fluctuates a little bit differently. I feel like, the spikes are bigger in the Icosa pool.
That's just like with cryptos in general. Like Hedron is at the top of its S curve in terms of the staking pool. Could get like more, but like Icosa is just so small. It takes so little dollars to take up a percentage of the pool. I think you have to take into account like the yield that you've earned or everyone else has earned compared to you who's starting day one. But like stake points are still cheap. And it's just like you put in 50 grand right now, dude. You're taking up a nice little chunk, dude. You're taking up like at least like a 0.2, 0.3, I think. No, you'd probably be taking like a 0.1. Like it doesn't take like a lot. Like if somebody with $1 million right now bought Icosa, or there would be a whole bunch of arbing of hex and everything then, but you would like it's very easy to take up the pool because it's just so many. A lot of people think that like Icosa is the dump token, but like it's not.
Question?
I'm sorry.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, what do you need?
Okay, I must be wrecked. Let me try another way.
Yeah, your mic is breaking up. Yeah, if that's what you mean. Yeah, your mic is definitely breaking up a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Yeah.
I just have
Much better.
Okay, I have a question with Icosa and Icosa staking. How is it sustainable to stake Icosa, get Icosa in Hedron?
Well, that's a complicated like answer, but the easy answer without going too far into detail is the Hex Icosa Hedron system is a system of checks and balances. And the Hedron is variable. Like all of these are variable and it's just like kind of free market and like what the participants are doing. Over time, you will be earning less Icosa, probably. It gets very rare over time. It's just right now, this is like how were you able to turn on your computer and mint 50 Bitcoin at the time? It didn't seem like it. It didn't like in the future you're not going to be earning 50. Like they earned 50 Bitcoin. Now they earn 6. The same thing kind of with Icosa. More participants come in, some leave, more come in, and then over time the yield will go down, but you should see higher prices in Icosa, and I would imagine Hedron as well.
Yeah,
But it's all checks and balance.
Yeah, it's all going to be a function of how many people use the Icosa contract, how it was designed. Like how many people are going to be creating, HSIs and selling them to the contract. How many people are going to be creating Quattro Cinco HSIs and selling them to the contract for more of a bonus. It is going to be all dependent on how many people actually use a contract. Because once we get after the period where the seed of liquidity was added by the SA, once we get through that period, we're going to have a much more clearer view on how it's going to be getting used and what the yield is going to be after. I think we're like 7 or 8 months away from seeing that kind of fall off a cliff. Some people are saying August. I think it is August or July. I don't remember. I have the dates marked down somewhere, but August or July is when we hit that first cliff. And then I think it's just like 2 or 3 months after that is when all the seeded liquidity dries up, and then the system will be totally dependent on the use of the actual contract, and then we'll see what kind of payouts we'll be dealing with.
Yeah, it's gonna be around November that
Yeah, that's what it was, November.
the second round stops.
Okay.
So we'll really be dependent on if new people put some HSIs in, or if we keep rotating those HSIs on auctions. People buying them and putting them back into the system, and not holding them for the hex, just recycling them to infinity.
And just as like cover basics without going too much into detail, I think adding 2 stakes is not a good idea. You shouldn't like reset your timer. You should serve your 90 or 180 days. I think 90 days are the best, but like just to keep it simple, like you make 90-day stakes, like so you make a whole bunch of wallets, and then in 90 days you can either restake and add all of your yield, or you can cash out your interest, whatever you want to do. But I think there's a big advantage for smaller players by doing 90-day stakes, which is like I think like 200 or something Icosa.
Oh yeah, I learned that lesson because I just kept adding to it, and the days kept increasing.
Yep, me too. Yep. Lesson learned. I remember adding to my 1 stake and then just staring at it for a few days and then just being like, shit. Like, I don't know if that was the choice to do. Like, it didn't serve that many days. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like devastating. It was just like, ooh, there's like 2 or 3% of, or 10% stake that I could have optimized.
The Hedron yield on the Icosa stakes is pretty high today. It's like more than twice as much as the previous day. Previous days. It's like it's the highest it has been all week. Like, yeah, two or three times more Hedron.
Yeah, there were about 20 HSI sold back into the Icosa contract today, so that Hedron was borrowed, so that's probably why the
Oh, nice.
Hedron yield went up on the Icosa stake. I saw where someone was talking about it, and so I just went back on my Hedron bot Telegram since I didn't see it when it happened. It was about 5 something this morning.
Nice. Shout out to whoever did this. Do you know do you remember how big they were?
They were showing dolphin. Let me look and see if I can pull it up and see how much, what size it is.
And that's a high payout because I remember like on a good day before it was like 40,000 for that same size stake, and it was 50, and we had a whole bunch of people like add Icosa since then over the last month. So like that was a really big payout today for like a small or for like a regular day. It wasn't like the biggest of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, it's about like 2.5 to 3 times more than regular.
So I just dropped the first one in the chat here, and but I think they were all around that size. So I don't know how many T-shares is involved. I don't remember what someone said, but there's about 20 of them if I counted right.
Nice. Thanks.
I just keep thinking about Icosa, and I'm just like, oh, dude, it's so awesome. Like it could do like as long as you're staked, like you're doing pretty fucking good. Even if price drops from here. Now, if it goes up from here, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, to me it feels like almost working overtime by doing nothing. Getting paid. Nice.
I'm hoping I'm hoping after the whale stakes come undone that these stake periods move up. It's like even like right now, it's like for 90-day stakes, it's a maximum of 202 Icosa, a maximum of 202 Icosa for 90 days. It's like, damn, it's a lot of wallets to manage if you're trying to do 90-day stakes. Like if it was at like 500 for 90-day stakes, that would be more manageable. But I know it's like, yeah, not the arguments that we've had, but it's like the discussions we've had talking about the time invested in spending, the time invested in managing 90-day stakes could be worth it. Of course, all dependent on gas prices and if you're going to make up for that value lost with gas. Because some people count gas as a cost. I don't necessarily. But if we're dealing with smaller numbers, it almost kind of doesn't make sense for myself to not consider gas as a cost because obviously it is. But I just never really factored gas into anything, just for more of a peace of mind type deal.
Yeah, especially if you have like tens and hundreds of wallets,
What I'm saying, yeah, exactly,
like
yeah.
the cost of, like prepping a new wallet, sending ETH to it, all that stuff, and doing like 30-day stakes or like 90-day stakes.
Yeah, I would do 90-day because even I
Yeah,
had an idea, even though I'm a little past due on my idea now, because I created multiple wallets for 180-day stakes because I did not want to do the work for the 90-day stakes because it would have been an insane amount of wallets.
yeah,
So
same.
what I was thinking is that I could basically start creating like a ladder of 180-day stakes to where maybe I would start because 90 days is 3 months, obviously. So maybe with my 180-day stakes, every 3 months I would create more 180-day stakes. So that way I would have like a period in the future after the 180 days to where every 3 months I would have like multiple wallets coming due, and then I would just kind of cycle them through like that. There's a lot of different ways you can play with it, I guess, right?
Yeah, a lot of stakes should be, up in the upcoming weeks, so that number might bump up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Well, like I say, it's all
a lot
dep-
of
yeah, it all
people
dep-
compound. If they
yeah,
don't compound,
it all depends on
uh,
the supply. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how many people keep it liquid or try to sell, and how many people do restake. Yeah, because the 202 number is just so freaking low for 90 days. It's just like, ugh.
I made a lot of the 90s and some 180s. The way I taught myself on the 90 ones, that if I don't take them out because of gas, it's all good because they're still there collecting yield. And since
Yeah,
you don't get penalized, I look at it, well, when the time is right, I could take some different ones. Like you say, you're doing, I'm doing the same thing too, but I'm doing like DCA. Like I might buy some Icosa today, make a couple of 200s, whatever. Then a couple days later, because freaking me just don't know how to freaking stop, buy some more again. And just to kind of like just keep stacking because like you're saying, 1 week, boom, I could pull some out and create a fatter one now because of the yield I made from the 90 ones. Then if
yeah,
I don't want to take them out, I can wait another month. Then it could be a month of delay from the other one. So I kind of be like also starting to make my own staking ladder while being making it on his own. I don't know if I
yeah,
said that right, not confuse anybody. But yeah, I'm also considered it like an NFT in a way where is there clicking yield. If I want to send it to someone else, they could start clicking that yield off that one, like to a family member or a gift or somebody. And it'll be a small amount to where I'm not gonna be wasting. The bull market comes, you're not gonna be fuck. Let me dump my big bag I got here because they're all big. If you got a smaller
exactly.
one,
Yeah.
you could kind of DCA on the way out also, right? So it could be a win-win in different scenario, different ways how it plays out. But yeah, I get you too. Small 200, like god damn it. But if you start looking at a different picture, whereas if you can pull them out later, if you don't have to, if you do, you got the opportunity to do it versus a 2000 a cost of stake, right? So yeah. And yeah, if you're doing the smaller 90 days, then when they start amplifying and start Xing this, from two wallets gonna become three wallets. If you got like the three wallets gonna end up becoming four and a half, then from there gonna be like six wallets, seven, eight wallets. And but that's a good thing because now you're earning more piece of the pie because you also keep on accumulating and you're also going back in enough to where you're versus the 6 months, right? The 1 year or 270 days. Because I got some right now, 270. I'm like, fuck, man, come on, hurry up, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Is anyone able to know or where to find out? The coastal pool starting to get bigger and bigger the last couple of weeks, like substantial. Do we know that coming from the coastal stakers doing kind of what we're talking about, or is it coming from the also majority from the Hedron stakers that only got a Costa, or majority also too buying from the market, but gotta come from a staker?
well, we have seen quite a few, quite like a lot of HSI buybacks this week. Like it's 8 days ago now, I think. 300 HSIs of decent sizes sold to the buyback, and probably a few others as well. Yeah, I don't know about the compounding or maybe the Hedron stakes coming into the Icosa pool. Haven't really checked anything. Slowly but surely it grows. That's for sure.
No, yeah, it's starting to grow a lot more quicker, like faster pace. So I was just kind of interested to find out where more of that coming from, might be from all over Mixer.
Yeah, I feel like the liquid supply doesn't really move, so that's why we don't see really like a big jump in the staker classes. But the staking pool definitely is growing.
I really think that Icosa is super easy to like introduce to people. Like, 90-day or 180-day lockup. It's a little bit less intense, People are like, like you staked some coins for like 5 years. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? But 180 days, 6 months, that's nothing. Max 360.
Yeah, I also feel it's a good time frame. Not too much.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys see? Did any of you guys see Crypto Sloth's bullshit Twitter post he did? He was like, I don't know exactly what it said. I don't follow him just out of spite, but he said, "Hey, do you guys realize that Zen's price is higher than Hedron?" I just replied, "Bruh." I was like, "What the fuck?"
I don't think
Yeah,
there's
I
much
think I saw this.
statement, like just like in terms of price per unit, I think is what he meant.
Sure, that's one way of thinking about it, but if you're Mr. Hedron Crypto Sloth, why would you even? I don't understand why. It was just a simple, small statement. Like you can look at it, but why even say that?
Yeah, he's trolling. He's like adding a little bit of fuel to the fire.
Oh, yeah, he definitely
With
fired me up.
all that shit going on, making people jump into that engagement clickbait.
Work. He got my engagement.
Yeah.
I followed him. Let's go.
Got you there. Got him.
Grr, Sloth, with your outrage marketing. Grr.
Yeah, but see, that's what I was saying earlier. You see, where you start seeing people that are starting to lose on patience and they start to switch over to the shiny object. And I did an ROI on Hex. If you bought $1,000 worth on the beginning of the year, you would have been you'll have $1,400 right now or something. And if you did third project, you would have been under $600 already. You're gonna go back on October, back when I did on the first. I must have been should have did on the 8th. You would have $3, $250, $3, and Hex would have been at higher. Would have been I think at 50 or something like that. But whatever regarded, you'll still have been major versus major negative. So just want to throw that out there.
That's good.
Yeah, it's really strange to like have a project where it's like, okay, you guys can mint, make a couple of bucks, but just don't buy that shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure even Jack knows that this shit is like never gonna gain a lot of value. Might pump here and there, but
Yeah, but that's something that people don't understand. Jack has always said from the beginning, like, don't buy it. Like, just mint it. It's meant to be minted. It's gonna be years and years until the inflation rate goes down. He's never once hinted at anyone to that you should buy this at all whatsoever. He's always just said you should just mint it because that's what it's there for. It's gonna be years. It's gonna be years until the inflation rate goes down. He knows that.
yeah.
He's always said
But
that.
the influencers kind of create that, that FOMO that, some plebs are gonna, some
Yeah, well,
plebs are
that's
gonna
on them.
put some money
Yeah,
down, get fucking wrecked, and then cry about it maybe.
Well, when I don't want to say his name, Jack, whatever, but when he say that the chart looked beautiful, is fuck no, it doesn't. That's when you gotta run.
I never heard him say it. That's hilarious, though. Oh, that's
That was like
hilarious.
this morning, I believe. This morning, yesterday, I was just kind of making sure because I'm seeing idiots. But I'm like, let me make sure that I might be the idiot. And I was like, nah, I think the people are also in that group right there streaming all together today. We're like, nah, these are the rejects. They're the one that they just couldn't have no patience, know the better of Hex, Icosa, and Hedron, what they're building. No, but yeah, he said today, I was like, this is fucking retarded. Change it. I can't hear no more. This is enough. Fucking out of this. And I seen Icosa was on right now, live stream, like jumped on here, like this is more like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like it clean, it's like a clean L chart. Can't, you know, can't debate that fact. Does look clean. Going down to infinity, 15 zeros.
Yep, you just gotta have patience. Every day you'll gain more by every day waiting versus the loss. And Costa, seeing that chart, that looked freaking bullish to me personally. But I don't know much about TA. I just look like it's gonna be pumping, like just gonna shoot up on the air any moment, day. The way it seems to me, the way it looks.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to do some TA on that stuff, but like in the end, it's really like correlated a lot to Hex, and the project is so new that you don't know what play is gonna jump in like we seen this week. Like nobody of us could have anticipated that there would be like somebody just doing like 300 HSI buybacks, creating 1.3 million Icosa just like that.
Well, what makes it so bullish for me, which is kind of like I gotta pitch myself. If Hex is bought the bottom, some are saying or thinking this is already kind of bottom out where the price is at right now. And if Acosa's kind of mimic and following also the same pattern that Hex is around 61 cents, 62 cents almost. And when the boom will come, when Hex comes up and be a couple bucks, it's going to be unbelievable what the price of Acosa is going to be. My personal opinion, I keep thinking myself it's going to be 150, 200. I tell you, it's going to be 150, 200 easily. I told him, stupid easy. Only way I know, because I saw this in the last bull market, fucking shit coins went up stupid amount. I'm like, fuck. I told him, if I seen those shit coin went up, I told him this shit here, $300. I don't want to get fucking no financial advice or no fucking try to get boy FOMO, but I told him it's just a matter of time, and just the people are genius because people like us right now staking at this moment when no one's talking about it are around. And this, I thought, this how it goes. That's just how it goes. It's just who's in it right now are gonna be the ones successful, gonna be the ones that's genius, and only because we're here to fucking we're putting out, we're putting money in where no one's are, and because we know we're doing our homework, we're doing our research. So when it comes, like, yeah, more power to us. We fucking deserve every right when that time comes.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely more than luck. Preparation meets opportunity.
You're absolutely right. Because when I do talk to others about this crypto and all everything else, dividends, and they tell me all the time, like, where do you get the information from? Like, and how you know this? I tell them, well, this stuff here just overnight, just you just learn this. I tell them it's also research, put your time in, and this is what you're gonna get back. And I tell them, you just want somebody to take your money and boom, and come back and be a millionaire. So it don't work that way. You need to go and do the time in. Because everyone's gonna sell you a product. Excuse me, not a project. Yeah, a project, not a product. And they're gonna fucking tell you, yeah, this is the best shit ever. At the same time, they don't fucking know shit either. What's going on? So that's the thing I tell you. You gotta do your homework. If not, just throw your fucking money away because that's basically what's gonna happen. You're gonna be fucking burnt up, gone. No, don't expect nothing back.
Yeah, that's why most people get wrecked trading and, losing their money on centralized shit. Not wanting to put in the work.
Yeah, my mother-in-law, funny, she came to stop by this morning and she said, yeah, you know anything about this? Because I'm always talking about financial DeFi, where I'm always talking about making money, making yield while you're sleeping. That's the only way you're gonna make it in this world if you want to make it. And so, hey, you think about this app or this stuff, some kind of centralized stocks, whatever crap. I didn't look too much into it. She's like, yeah, some guy stopped by my work, told me about this. This is the best thing ever. I told her, telling her, show the receipts, showing the proof is show the proof what he made a month ago and what he's making now. So if he can't do that, he's full of shit. I told him he's not trying to scam you. I said, don't put no time into it because a lot of it is all full of crap, and they're just out there trying to take anyone's gonna buy it and take their money. Because this is what the role is, right? I mean, they're trying to just who's stupid enough to believe my stupid shit, so I could take advantage, and then it is what it is. But you gotta know what to blame for yourself if you choose to believe whatever someone tells you while you're doing your time and your research. And I tell you, that's how it goes. This is how life is. No one's gonna give it to you. You need to go get it yourself.
Shout out to the admins watching over us. What's good, boys?
Will the Icosa price be always so lockstep with Hex then? Is there a way for it to break on its own? Does that make sense? It's always going to be tied to Hex, right?
Well, it's not necessarily going to be tied to Hex, but it could, if it was to break on its own, so to speak, to the upside, what that's going to mean is it's going to indirectly drag the Hex price up, because if it continued to just, go parabolic, let's say, there would become times where like efficient arbitragers can come in and say, hey, I can make a $100 Hex stake and straight away sell it to the Icosa contract and get $120 of Icosa, then use $120 to get $120 Hex. They can keep doing this until the Hex price comes up or the Icosa price comes down, such that there's no more arbitrage. And then the same thing happens again. Icosa pumps, and it just continually does this. So let's say this continued out into the future and it just kept pumping. It would just essentially drag up Hex with it indirectly with that kind of arbitrage mechanism. And that's kind of the design there. So it's like, and Hedron has the same thing. It's just we're further away from that point, and we've kind of never been there. Whereas with Icosa, the very first sale ever in Icosa put us above that arbitrage point. So straight away, people were able to realize, hey, like this is the system, because the first ever sale mooned us to that arbitrage point, or the first ever buy, should I say. So it's like, sure, it can do its own thing, but then that's just going to drag up the hex price indirectly, which then creates that lockstep you were talking about. But to the downside, it could just do its own thing, and then hex doesn't follow it, because hex is not following it to the downside. It's just Icosa's got sell pressure. So
yeah, to the downside, it's the opposite, and then
and it's like
okay.
Even to the upside, it's not like necessarily correlated in any way. It's just that indirect, because there's like a virtual price ceiling to the upside. So it's like a virtual price ceiling because there's nothing stopping it theoretically, just keep going up. But it's like people are very likely to take that arbitrage opportunity, because it's like capitalism almost ensures that will happen, So if ever the price of Icosa does its own thing, so to speak, it's like that arbitrage makes it such that Icosa is pulled back a little bit in price and hex is dragged up a little bit. So if people just kept continually pumping Icosa, it would create this thing where hex is dragged up. But like other than that, there's no like correlation there, other than like the market speculators creating that correlation, if you like,
So it's pretty fair to say, I think I've seen it too, that like once hex, let's just, drops, that it's probably taken Icosa's price with it, right? They seem to be pretty correlated on the downside. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, and you see these things with like liquidity. So even if there was no interactions between the contracts, let's say Icosa, hypothetically in an imaginary scenario, did nothing. It was just a token, but was bonded with hex in liquidity pools. There's going to be some correlation there between the two because of that liquidity. Just from people in general arbitraging the prices, just from the fact that it's priced in the other thing. So, you could even, relate this scenario in real life. If you have like chocolate bars and, I don't know, cans of Coke priced in each other. So you can buy like for one can of Coke, you can buy 2 chocolate bars. If the price of cans of Coke doubles, and it's still one can of Coke for 2 chocolate bars, the price of chocolate bars also doubled in dollars because the Coke doubled in dollars. So you have this scenario where the liquidity is bonded. So it's kind of like they're priced in each other, plus they're going to move in lockstep to a certain extent, because both arbitrages and the Uniswap inbuilt router will always route you through the most efficient pair. So if USDC hex is A and Icosa hex is B, but then Icosa USDC is B, but then Icosa hex, there's a disparity between the two USDC prices relative to the ratio between hex and Icosa. The inbuilt router would kind of nullify that arbitrage opportunity, even if a user like you or I didn't. So there's those two factors: the fact that like the inbuilt router and people will arbitrage the price back, and the fact that it's essentially priced in the other thing. So if hex doubles, or if Icosa doubles, and hex or Icosa is priced in hex or Icosa, the other one intrinsically has also doubled because the other thing is priced in it, just like the can of Coke and the chocolate bar scenario. So, other than those things, and, I say other than those things as if they're not significant enough, but other than that, there's no actual, there's no peg and there's no like hard-coded bond to the hex price. But because of all these mechanisms and, just the speculation of the market, like people thinking this is the way it is a very powerful thing, right? Because especially in a bull market, and like you'll see, in my opinion, people may be paying a premium in the bull market for HSI stakes, because if you imagine like in a bull market in general, people are more willing to buy because, why are you buying a financial instrument? To speculate that you could make money in the future. And if the price is going up, people then start to buy more, and then the price goes up more, and so on and so forth. So wouldn't it make sense that more people would be willing to pay for HSI stakes at auction in general in a bear market, plus maybe pay a premium because they think, I'm paying $2 over the odds today, but in 3 weeks, the hex price might double. So I actually got a really good deal relative to what the price will be in a couple of weeks. So, you can relate that to, well, in the bear market, this quote unquote bond that we're talking about may even be stronger. So if Hex does a 10% move, instantly people are buying Icosa and pushing it 10% to the upside just because they're anticipating that it's going to happen anyway. So I think we'll see like the things we did see like in the early days where Icosa was floating around that kind of quote unquote arbitrage point a lot. I think we generally see that more in a bull market than a bear market, just because of that. Like that kind of human input, people thinking that it will do XYZ, so they're kind of trying to beat the trend or beat the masses to the punch, and that's what creates the quote unquote bond, and I'm saying quote unquote a lot because there is no actual bond, but it's just like, the bonded liquidity along with people thinking, hey, I think this should be worth $1, because what's to say that if this was nothing, let's take Hedron, for example. Let's say you couldn't bid on HSI stakes at auction with Hedron. Just the fact that you can mint Hedron based off of T-shares, like one could argue that they see value in the fact that this is only obtainable via T-shares. So it's a derivative of a T-share. Therefore, I'm going to give it a value of X. And if enough people think that, then that's the value, right? And like a good example of this is USDC. Because maybe not the best example directly, but like USDC is just a token that exists. There's nothing to say that USDC can be worth a penny or $1 million. Like there's no actual dollar price of USDC on Uniswap. It's just the market trades it at that because they know that if it drops to 90 cents, they can buy it off Uniswap, take it to Circle like Coinbase and get a real dollar for it. If it's ever $1.10, they can go to Coinbase, buy it for $1, sell it on Uniswap for $1.10 worth of USDC. So the price often trades at $1, and the further it goes from $1, the more violently it's corrected back to $1, if you like. And so you could kind of relate that to, the market forces of the general participation of the users that I'm talking about.
Thanks for explaining that. The reason why I asked that question was primarily to do with who's to say. There's been a lot of people, I've heard that said Pulse Chain will launch and EHEX will dump. EHEX will dump to zero and PHEX will do very well. So that's why I asked that, because I was concerned about that.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, no one knows, right? Like it's the thing that I think is very, very unlikely for any token, any like token that has a place in the market, let's say, or product market fit, or however you want to say it, like, is this infinite dump theory. I don't think anything's going to infinitely dump forever. But like, could it have a big correction and be priced a lot different to Pulse Chain? Sure. Like, but what people seem to do is like take an extreme. It's either going to moon or it's going to dump forever and ever. And so I think it's like, and when we talk about risk in financial products or speculative instruments, like what is that? Like, it's no way to manage it, right? Like there's no way to say, hey, this is the risk and I'm going to manage it like this, because really what it is you invest in something, stuff happens and you have to deal with that stuff. And that's a very blanket statement, but it's unlike an insurance company which says, hey, like we're going to like use math to factor in the like the risk of this thing happening, and then we're going to make sure when it does happen we still make a profit. Like there's no way to do that with a speculative instrument. So to think that we're going to say, hey, this is definitely going to dump, it's like, well, if we knew that, then why are we in the asset? We would already be ahead of the curve. We wouldn't need to be making predictions because we would know what's going to happen. and to especially say, hey, we don't think it's just going to correct, but it's just going to be like it's dead on this side and it's super alive on this side, like that's a bit extreme. And I think if it did happen, you'd see like this switch. So if something is relatively cheaper on one chain than the other, sure, like that's just normal market, right? But if something, for example, Hex significantly dropped over on Ethereum but pumped over on Pulse, you'd see a lot of users potentially coming from Pulse over onto Ethereum and buying up that Hex on Ethereum and staking it over on Ethereum. And then as the opposite happens, the inverse of that, the Ethereum's pumping, and you know, the pool's getting bigger over on Ethereum now. Oh well, more people are going to go over to the pool on Pulse chain, where the pool's a lot smaller relative to the Ethereum one. The price is a lot lower relative to what it was when it pumped. And so I think you'll also see a switch between the two, just like Alex was talking about in the early days of Icosa, when it was kind of like pre-launch, when everybody was kind of like, hey, we definitely think Icosa is going to be the main thing, because the only way to get in, you know, to get Icosa is to sell your HSI, like on day one, right? Is to sell your HSI to the buyback, get that Icosa and jump in the pool to get that first yield. And it's going to be so lucrative. And this is going to be the best play forever and ever and ever. And it's a great, like, sure, at first, that's great. But what about after 30, 60, 90 days? Everybody's filling up that pool now. So maybe the best play then is to jump over to the Hedron pool. And you'll see this switch between the two. And we're kind of like, that user that staked 1.3 million Icosa the other day, surely like they sped that kind of theory along, if you like, where you'll now see people saying, hey, it's maybe I want to go over to the Hedron pool because it's not as, you know, sure, it's still potentially a lot better to yield Icosa in the Icosa pool. But think about it. If you want to catch that price appreciation of Hedron and you're already betting on Hedron outperforming Icosa price wise, well, maybe for the same dollar value, you just jump over to the Hedron pool, because now there's not as much of a disparity, although there is still a big disparity between the two pools in terms of yield. So I think the same will be true with Hex, Pulse, with all these coins. Some will do better on Pulse, some will do better on Ethereum. They might fluctuate because users will jump back and forth, but especially with Hex, because it's internal within our community. So if, you know, everybody's EESing on the Ethereum side and jumping over to Pulse, well, that spells opportunity for people to come and stake over on the Ethereum side and get a bigger share of the pool than they otherwise would have got pre-launch of Pulse Chain. So, you know, I think it'll be, like I said, a balance between the two, and I just definitely can't see anything infinitely dumping. Like, oh my God, Ethereum's dead now. Let's all go home and just focus on Pulse Chain, you know. But again, that's just my personal opinion, and I think it's just like a rational, logical way to look at it, because, you know, why would something that already has proven to fit this demographic, fit this market, all of a sudden not have the properties it had a day ago because this other thing launched? If anything, now it just has infinite more use case. It's just over on a different chain. Like, there's infinite more value. Even if you just make 1 cent more from your free copy over on Pulse Chain, that's like infinite X gain. So, you know, it's if anything, a driver of adoption and a driver of participation. So yeah, I think the opposite is true, and not necessarily the opposite. I'm not saying it won't dump, but just the opposite to this theory that it's going to be dead.
Yeah, I agree. I believe
Boom.
also that a lot of, you know, the hex streamers are probably going to talk about those opportunities as well. So it's going to be more awareness than if just nobody would talk about it. And only the, you know, like super smart people who actually do, you know, look at really all the numbers and find those opportunities out.
Yeah, but what do you guys think? Do you think there'll be more opportunity over on? Because, you know, I think about it sometimes, like, what will be the better play? Like, will people all switch over to Pulse Chain? Because if they do, you know, I might jump over and make a new big hex stake on the ETH side, you know. So, but what do you guys think will happen in the first few weeks of Pulse Chain launch?
I'm not sure. The only kind of feeling that I am pretty sure about it. It's that PLSX is gonna dump because there's way too many people over sacrificing.
I see people dumping PulseX to get Pulse Chain. I see that as a definite.
Yeah, what's interesting as well is long term, because we don't have this kind of like this big deflationary aspect of Pulse anymore. And I think that's a really good thing. Like the fact that it's now just a 1-for-1 of ETH 2.0 in terms of like the code base. I think that's great, and it's also now like potentially more bullish for PulseX, because PulseX has this deflationary mechanism. It has the buy and burn or buy and distribute or whatever it's going to be, and so it, if anything, like it's made me more bullish for Pulse and more bullish for PulseX, because we now have this exact copy of Ethereum 2.0 code base. And so we benefit from all the upgrades that could come from Ethereum. And any upgrades made to Pulse Chain could also be then streamed to Ethereum, just like when Richard Hart's developers, they fixed a problem within the Ethereum code base, and it was accepted by the Ethereum Foundation, and kind of, okay, great, you've made Ethereum better. And then they forked it because they didn't want to fork something that was kind of broken, I guess, right? Well, not broken, but had this error. So like that's one reason why it's super bullish. And then the other
really
one is just
validates
because
the development team.
You sure, yeah. And this was ages ago. And so now we've come back to that. It's like, oh, well, I'm really bullish on that in general. And then it's the fact that, well, great, now we have this, like what everyone wanted from Pulse, the token. It's like now we have that and more from PulseX. So it's almost like potentially, maybe not, but potentially one could argue it's a more bullish case for PulseX. And, Pulse Chain as a network, and therefore Pulse the token. So yeah, like I'm just super bullish on both anyways, but more so now that I know it's going to be slightly different to how we originally imagined. But yeah, I do see a lot of, because a lot of people that couldn't get in on the Pulse sacrifice then got in on the Pulse X one. And,
right. That's why I think short term, there's going to be a lot of like movement into Pulse Chain from PulseX, because that's the reason they got into the PulseX sacrifice, was to have something to get into Pulse Chain with.
Yeah,
that's just my assumption, because there was more money that went into PulseX, that sacrifice. I think it's because, people, more people heard about it later on, and they were like, darn, they were kicking themselves that they wanted really to get into the Pulse Chain sacrifice, but missed out.
Yeah, and they didn't want to miss the boat again. And so they thought, well, this is a way I can get some PulseX plus get some extra PulseX to swap to PLS. Yeah, definitely be interesting, and potentially very lucrative for the liquidity providers in those first days and weeks for sure.
Do you know much about PRT, or incentive token?
PRT is not a token. It's just a placeholder for whatever is paired up with Pulse to create, or PulseX to create it's like a party token. It's whatever the other thing is, right? Let's just say it's Link. You know what I mean? It would be your reward for the Link PulseX pair or whatever. So
like
it's just
liquidity?
A placeholder. Yeah, or from staking it or whatever.
Because I figured the incentive token was that like reward token, kind of to shield the PulseX price, for where you'd provide liquidity and get a reward for it.
Yeah, the incentive token is an unnamed token that is an actual different thing. There's a difference between pools and God, what's the other one? It's been so long since I've been on testnet.
And then there's going to be bridging at some point too. Bridging your copy from one side of the chain to the other. I just wasn't
Yeah,
sure
like
if maybe incentive token would be a reward for both bridging and liquidity providing.
well, I mean, there's an idea right there. So what I was gonna say is the way I understand it is, let's say Java made Java token and wanted to incentivize people to use it with minimal effort, let's say, or not minimal effort, but without having to, deploy marketing strategy. He could say, hey, like PRT would be any number of tokens that want to provide this service. So you could say, hey, Java token, I'm going to give 10 trillion tokens or 10 billion tokens to this pool, and you compare your pulse in the pool and essentially stake it to earn Java token. And that was like the PRT is a placeholder for any number of these Java or Nomad or whoever tokens that come out in the future. And then, so for example, what you just said, like ties into that. Like you could literally make a project that's just like any coin that has some kind of utility, maybe tied into Icosa or Hedron or Hex or all of the above or whatever, right? And then you could say, hey, you get this token for doing one of two things. For bridging in, you can earn this token, or you can earn this token. It becomes like what you just asked PRT would be. Like you can essentially stake your pulse to earn this token, or bridge into the chain and earn this token. So like, food for thought. But yeah,
It's
hypothetical example.
You can use it as your distribution model essentially for your token. And just remember, in order to get that listed, you will have to have a bag of PulseX to put it up for, on the DAO to suggest it as a pair, and it would be voted on. So
Okay.
but that's not too hard to at least get the vote up. You make friends and convince people and all that good stuff. FYI, there'll probably never be a Java token.
I would support.
Oh, I just started something now. It's going to be like a movement in 2 days, like when Java token.
Mike unmuted will FUD me.
And no expectations, but I'm probably gonna make a PvP token one day for all the gamers out there.
Oh,
Getting-
clever name. PvP. I like it.
Yeah, I switched my artist name a few years back, thinking it wasn't clickbaity enough.
Better get your domain and your ticker as soon as you can. There's like 30 guys in here. I'm gonna go snipe that shit right now.
What ticker you mean?
PvP token.
Oh.
Isn't that what you're talking about?
I see. Don't front run me, bitches. I took a screenshots of all your names in here. I'll be hunting you down.
I mean, like, look at how that worked out for Pulse Doge and Pulse Doge Coin. How he was able to basically snipe that guy's whole, those guys from Pulse Doge, the original Pulse Doge guys. How they were able pretty much to just snipe that whole fucking name. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. It took me some time to actually notice that those were two different projects. But did the Pulse Dogecoin made an airdrop actually, or was it just like a
Hey,
token?
holy! We don't talk about scams in here.
I mean, I got a cheap billion Hedron thanks to my PLSD, so shout out to it. to whoever did this.
You want to give me free coins to dump? Fuck yeah, dude. Keep putting them in my wallet.
It was either like like a cheap billion Hedron or like chicken nuggets for days, 100 days straight, chicken nuggets every day. I felt like Hedron was a smarter play, more healthy too.
And you earn that sweet, sweet Icosa.
Yeah, I compounded one time already on that stake, so it got me a decent free wallet doing its thing.
So I heard Watts is broke even, right? So what do you guys think of the dynamics over the next few weeks and months because of that?
I think that whoever is selling his Watsa, like whoever's burning his Watsa, is kind of retarded play. but I'm not a Watsa holder, so I don't even really care so much. But yeah, it's kind of like seeing that makes me think, yeah, why wouldn't you try to sell it on OpenSea? Even like maybe a little bit of a premium, but yeah, don't burn that shit. That's too valuable.
Before the copies too. Like
Yeah.
that's just retarded.
To be honest,
Like
it's probably better if they burn them now. It's probably better if they burn them now. Don't burn them when like Icosa's at $100 and then you have like a year of yield. Oh man.
I'd like to see the really big ones burn. But I'd hate for the little guys to miss out on whatever's to come of the future. But in all honesty, like some of them are so big that it would be hard to get liquidity, in the future. So maybe it is the smarter play to burn the big ones. I don't know. Like let's say you have one that's worth 1,000. No, not 1,000. Let's say it's worth 100,000 Icosa. And you burn it and you get all that Icosa, and then what are you gonna do with it? If you really wanted to cash it in, you get raped by the slippage. You know.
What do you think Godwell is gonna do when his stakes come out? Is he gonna just let it staked or end stake and provide liquidity, or restake in the Icosa pool, or dump on the Hyatts? Probably not, but
Providing some liquidity would be pretty cool.
Probably he's gonna do whatever is most beneficial to him and the system. He might split it up and do different things. Who knows? A healthy system is beneficial to him or her. So, you know, it's a good thing that there's a player in this.
yeah, there's like two really big entities now in yeah, like in Icosa and well, no, in Icosa, no, the Galwell's not in Icosa, but not yet. And Hedron. Imagine owning plus 12% of the Icosa pool. Damn.
I'd feel like that'd be too much responsibility for somebody like myself.
I'm going to do with all my gains in Icosa. I'm going to go and buy all the Jawa pieces of art, and I'm going to burn them.
That's
Oh,
fine. I know that I know you wouldn't do that on the pulse chain side, just the east side, so that's cool.
I don't think I've even seen any of yours. I saw the one that you sent me, the Watson, the like golf ball one.
Yeah. I don't even know if yeah, I did put that in there, but yeah, we'll see him soon, hopefully. OpenSea's just being douchey. Too many dick pics and nudies, so they're being bitchy.
I just don't like how their search bar works. It like literally recommends scams to you. Like that's amazing to me.
I was just kidding about the dick pics and nudies, by the way.
Are those selling for a premium?
Sure, Mike. Pay me what you want, what you think it's worth, and I'll send you some dick pics and nudies.
No, I was looking to start making my own NFTs and sell them on OpenSea.
With Midjourney and these other programs, I could see NFTs being oversaturated, the market oversaturating, because now everybody can make pretty decent art these days, and like honestly, that gives a huge advantage to Watsa just for the fact that it has underlying yield as opposed to every other fucking NFT out there. So I'm bullish. Where's Kismet tonight? And Mike, where's your buddy Gifford?
Wait, who?
You know damn well who.
Or your good buddy War Dog.
If he comes in here, I pretty much leave. I can't listen to him when he talks about guns and like he mentions hollow point bullets, like that's what scared them away or some dude. I can't listen to that. Sorry, like it's the most retarded shit I've ever heard. He does have some good YouTube videos, though. I will say he's pretty funny. But yeah, that guy's nuts.
He's got his moments of brilliant trollness. But yeah, definitely feel the same sometimes listening to him for too long.
I think that's exactly it. I think it's such a long game troll. Like it's just like he's definitely he's playing the long game on it. He's in character for a long time.
Yeah, that's why his name should be Troll God. That's what I told him.